Hey guys, Ethan here from Extreme RC 4x4, and I just want to give some of you guys that are doing some custom builds like I am a quick tip here. I've been doing this for a couple months now, and it's really changed the way that I am able to build things and just the ease of putting things together with the correct hardware I need. So I bought this organizer from Harbor Freight. I think it was, I can't remember how much it was, but it's got, I think they said 40 of these trays in it. So what I've done is gone through and labeled all of these for the size hardware that goes in them. So I have 3x4 millimeter hardware, all my 2.5 millimeter hardware that goes with like the CR12 stuff and the Terramite chassis, 3 millimeter nuts, 2 millimeter nuts. I have rod ends, spacers, and then in the bottom tray is where I typically just throw all my random hardware. When I'm done working on something, you always have it left on the table. I'll just throw it all in there until I get a minute to go through and reorganize that. But I order all my hardware from McMaster-Carr, and I also order my drill bits and taps from them, so that's some of the stuff that's in this order. But the reason that I like to do this over just ordering a stainless steel hardware kit for a specific vehicle, although you do get plenty of extra hardware with those kits, I like to just be able to order exactly the sizes that I need, because in this case I use a lot of 3x8 millimeter hardware, or I'm running low on these 3x4 millimeter hardware. So this way I can just order specifically what I need, and then it's definitely not as cheap as just buying the whole hardware kit, but this way I don't end up buying a bunch of hardware I don't need, and I only have to pay for the specific screws that I use for the parts that go out. So this is also, I have all this because all the parts I make, I have to include the specific hardware to install it. So I like to provide people with the right size stuff. I don't want to be digging through my bins and sending out hardware that I've used before. And another thing with this, buying these specific screws, you can go through and get exactly what you like. So for instance, when you buy the hardware kits, you're probably going to get an assortment of button head screws and cap head screws and countersunk screws, whereas with this I can go through and order all of these with the cap heads, or I had to order some of these countersunk heads for the new trail finder parts that go on the bottom of the skid plate. So I've swapped over almost all of my hardware at this point to the cap head, because I've just got really tired of stripping out all of the little button head hardware, especially on the 2.5 millimeter stuff. That was pretty annoying. So stepping up to this cap head, use a larger Allen wrench to install it all, and I really haven't stripped any of these screws out at this point. And even if I did, it's a cap head screw, so you can take the Dremel to it and make it a flat head and then take it out that way. But I just thought this would be interesting for you guys to see. I'm sure some people are curious what I have when I'm building stuff. I'll just reach up and grab the right size bin and pull however many odd screws I need out of there, which it just makes building things so much easier. So if you're always messing around with things and building them, it's probably worth the $100 or $150 in investment. This right here, all this hardware shipped to my house, it was a little over $100, but I also have a bunch of taps and drill bits that went in with that, so that's probably the more expensive part of this order. So you can get on McMaster-Carr and pick out all the specific hardware you need. It's pretty cool just to get on there and mess around, just to see what you actually can buy, and I have all the way up to 30mm long screws. You can go up to longer, but that's the longest that I need for my motor mounts. These 3x20 screws that get used on the CR12 high clearance transmissions. And then all this special 2.5mm stuff that I ordered goes onto the Terramite chassis. So I like to keep all this stuff in stock, so when I do send parts out, I can include all the right hardware. And I know that feeling when you get parts in the mail, but there's no hardware to put it all together. So this way I'm able to provide people with all the things they need, and it's just one of those other hidden costs that people don't understand. The prices on the website might seem a little steep to some people, but you got to think about all the hidden costs I have into it, the website, my time designing it, testing it. So you're not just paying for the part that you get, you're paying for stuff like this, all this hardware I have to order, just so you can put all your stuff together properly. But anyways guys, I hope you found this interesting. I really love having all this hardware here, and I'm sure there are some of you guys that would love to do the same. I would highly recommend it if you have the extra spending cash to do so. But anyways guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.